Welcome to the Fifth Avenue's Musical Theater Factory vlog. I am Deb Trout, and I am the costume designer for our new production of A Room with a View here at the Fifth Avenue. I'm going to talk to you about sort of the process and things that have been inspiring to me as I work on this piece, which has been quite a few months of work these days. And for all you costume geeks, maybe I'll talk a little bit about corsets and shapes and periods. But overall, I'm going to talk about how I find inspiration and how we as a team have gone forward with this piece. One of my favorite things about costume design is that I get to look at histories, clothing from past histories, as well as just sort of historical, social goings-on about again, the past, and this one, I guess I should say, has been, it's the Edwardian era, turn of the century, which means I've been looking at a lot of photographs, believe it or not, magazines and paintings, both Italian, mostly Western European, Italian, British, and so forth, to see how people looked in the clothes, so that I can understand, not only just by fashion drawings or scholarly clothing museum work, I can actually understand kind of how people looked as they lived in the clothing. So paintings and photographs have been really helpful to me on this project. One of the things that is really a challenge both for the drapers and myself on this show, but also for the performers, is just the difference between contemporary street clothing and, of course, Edwardian turn-of-the-century clothing. I'm sure you're all aware that women were corseted during this time. And if you have never worn a corset, men or women, I encourage you to try one on. Oh my God, it makes you feel so different. Your posture is just, their shape, your posture is drastically changed. And I know we're being very conscientious right now in the costume shop to make sure that the deep breaths, that the huge breaths that the singers need to take while they are out there performing on stage, that the restrictive clothing that this period had, that we're finding ways to kind of fake it. So we're trying to put in spandex paneling, perhaps, on some of the corsets, just to keep the posture, keep the foundational shape, but also allow what needs to happen in a musical happen, which is so different from street life. For men, the same kind of thing happens. You know, again, dress at that time was so much more formal than even our dressiest dress can be today. Men had the hugely high, stiff, starched, unbelievably starched collars, and most men, when I put the, most actors, when I put that kind of collar on today, are like, oh my God, because it is so different from even our own neckties and collars today. And again, singing and acting, and when one is on stage, besides just the physical activity, there's a huge amount of heat coming at you from stage lights. And when you have your neck or your body covered with restrictive clothing, it can be, it's very hard. So we work to try to make comfort yet historical accuracy, or a type of historical accuracy, available to us on stage. I'd like to talk with you about the dress we're building for the character Lucy at the top of Act 2. Even though I said earlier that this is, well, I guess I said that this is Edwardian. Technically, the novel that this story is based off of is set in 1908. And I looked at a lot of 1908 clothing, but the director and I talked a lot about how we wanted a fairly slim, I won't say a more feminine, but a slimmer, more streamlined silhouette. So I've kind of shifted the silhouette from it is still 1908, but it's a cusp year, and so more towards 1910. And her dress in particular really reflects the streamlined silhouette. The research allowed me to do it, but also, or the research allowed me to make that choice, but we are creating it, we being my fabulous draping team and assisting team, by, again, corsetry. So we have actually purchased a corset from a fabulous corset company that is called the 1912 model. And it shapes the body and the waist, the bust, the waist, and the hips in a way that can allow us for this streamlined nature. I went to New York to shop for these fabrics and bought many of them there, but discovered when we were right into the actual construction of it that we needed to shift a few fabrics. So I also bought fabrics here in Seattle, and then we dyed them here because, again, we've got a great team of artisans, and Gina dyed this pink fabric, or this overlayer fabric, to a beautiful pink color. Again, you can see in the sketch that it is a sort of peachy salmon. We've shifted things a little bit in conversation with the actress who looking at her skin tones and the hair color and so forth. We spend a lot of time tweaking for what I hope is perfection. So I hope you have enjoyed this conversation today, and I do hope you come and see the show and see what I hope to be a set of really beautiful costumes with amazing music and story. So see you soon.